on this computer. All righty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our little Q&A section here. We are all super excited to get to know all of you and just really delve into this year. I know this is kind of the first deal that we've all had together. And so as an officer team, we're super excited to meet all of you. We want to hear all of your questions, get to know you, and we're just really super excited to get to know all of you. So we're going to kind of jump right in. Tyson is going to give us kind of an overview of what this looks like, and I'll give it to him.
All right, so everyone, name's Tyson. Nice to meet you. And I'll give you just a bit of an overview of our rules and expectations of tonight and a little bit of Zoom etiquette. So first of all, I would like to ask all of you to mute your microphones while you are not speaking. If you are going to ask a question tonight, you may unmute it then. And as for what's going on, this is our Q&A, of course, but we are recording this and going to be posting it later on our social media, so please keep that in mind while you are asking us questions. And of course, be respectful of everyone's answers and questions throughout the process. And before asking a question, introduce yourself, tell us your name, tell us your chapter, and one thing about you, if you don't mind, just so we can get to know you a bit better. And with that said, I will pass it on to Shelby so we can start our Q&A order / starting.
All right, so just a quick rundown. Some of you guys have sent us questions that we will be answering first, but after we are done answering those initial questions, we will be moving on to more freelance questions that you guys can ask live and in person. Now that we all have the ground rules laid out, we may get started. So first we have Sarah Maker from the Sterling FFA chapter. Are you ready?
Hi, I'm Sarah Maker, and I'm a junior in high school. And one fact about me is I do lyrical tap and ballet dancing. Okay, so my questions are, what is your favorite state and why?
Wait, am I going?
I believe it's me and Kendall.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
I'll go
You
first.
got this.
So besides Colorado, I love Colorado, and I am on the western slope. And so I'm in like a really cool place. We don't get like too hot or too cold. I really like it. Besides Colorado, I definitely love Texas the most. I have spent so much time there growing up. I used to have family there, and I just have spent a lot of time there showing horses and that sort of thing. And I just love the atmosphere. I feel like everyone is so nice, and I just really get along there. I really feel like it's very agricultural based. And, you know, in Colorado, we can kind of veer the other way a little bit sometimes. And so I really like that aspect about it. And everyone just seems so passionate about the agricultural side. And then what are my favorite things about FFA and why? Well, growing up and then coming into FFA, I always felt like FFA was a family, and it was kind of my place in high school. And so I was so thankful for that I always had friends and people to turn to no matter what was going on. And I hope that you all feel that same way. And I hope that even though this year is kind of odd, we can still continue that, and you guys can all find your FFA family.
Okay, so my favorite state is Tennessee. I've literally been there one time. However, I really love it. I just really love like the cherry blossom trees. Those are like my favorite type of tree. And there's like a bunch of them, and I like the temperature. Like it's like kind of like Colorado, but it does get quite chilly. And it's also quite warm and humid. I don't like the humidity, but really like Tennessee. And then my favorite thing about FFA is probably just all the people that you get to meet throughout FFA. Like you literally get to meet people from across the state where you've like probably never been. And I think that part is really, really cool.
All righty, looks like we've got Ryan Smith next from Springfield. What do you got, Ryan?
I don't think she's on the meeting.
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, no, okay. So Ryan from Springfield wants to know why you decided to run for an office, and this is from Maverick and Shelby.
Ladies first.
You're just gonna copy me, Mav. Okay, so I ran initially for a state office because one of the last year's officers named Dominic Becerra, who was last year's state vice president, really encouraged me to run because he thought that I had some very good ideas and a great passion for FFA. So FFA was basically my safe spot throughout high school, and it was one of my most favorite things to do because I am so passionate about agriculture and everything that it has to offer, because it really is fascinating how much really goes into agriculture, from the technology to the people, and basically how we're just being innovative and creating better ways to continue feeding our ever-growing population. And now that I have run, I am very excited to be working with all of you people in such a different year, because some people can look at this year and just see it as being not what we want it to be, or just not the way that we need it to be, essentially. But to me, this is the year that for us to be innovative and creative in our ways and methods of reaching out to not only you guys as members, but also so many more people. And that is what I'm really excited for, and wound up realizing this is the reason why I ran for office this year. All right, Mav.
So first I want to start by saying I could talk about this for like an hour. There's so many different things that really compelled me to run for a state office. It's something that I've wanted to do for about 5 years. But I just want to focus on one thing for this. The reason that I ran for a state office is because of opportunity. Now let me explain that. The FFA has gave me so many different opportunities, whether that has been grants, friends, meeting people, going places. It's just, there's so much opportunity that the FFA has to offer. And you go through those 4 years of high school and you give and you get, and you get and you get and you get and you get. But as a state officer, our year is about service. It's about giving back. And so that's why I wanted to be a state officer. Instead of receiving the opportunities that FFA has, I wanted to be able to give them and expand them for our members. And so that's my main reason for running for a state office, is because through service, I can give our members the opportunities that I got in FFA.
That's really good. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Our next little question here, let's see, is from Kayla Rossi from the Sirocco FFA chapter. And I don't believe she's on right now, so I'll ask it again. What are you most excited about this year? What's really exciting about this year is what she's wanting to know, and that's for Jillian and Corin.
All right, so this year, as we know, is going to be super different. For me, I'm really excited to see what the ideas that our officer team comes up with to make sure that you guys are getting a great experience this year and making sure you're learning as much as possible and keeping you guys engaged. I'm also really hoping that I can finally see you guys in person, maybe. I know I've seen my team, but not a lot of you got FFA members that are here today. So fingers crossed that hopefully we get something later in the school year to see everybody and get to touch all of you in person. But unfortunately, that's just not available right now. So I'm excited to see what we all do with it and the community that we build virtually.
Torin, what you got? What you got for us? Alrighty, well, there's no reason to kind of lag behind here. Let's not get behind schedule. That's really awesome. We appreciate that, Jillian. I'm excited to be on your team and get to see you interact with the members as well. I guess we'll move on to our next question, which is from Bryson Davis. I happen to know him because he was on NOMCOM with a few of us current state officers last year. But Bryson is from Moffat County. He wants to know, how does the 2020 to 2021 Colorado State Officer team see chapter visits happening this year? And will they be in person or Zoom, whatever that looks like? He just wants to kind of know what this year looks like. And that is for Shelby to answer.
All right, so as we all know, this year is going to be quite different, and different is okay. I'm going to start off by saying that. And as of right now, up into December, we will be all virtual and online with Zoom, which is unfortunate, but it can also be a lot more fun because then you can take us wherever we are. Like Cindy's in the car right now, and we can be wherever you are, whenever you need us, which I think is actually really cool. And I think that it makes for a better opportunity for us to be there for you guys and support you guys. However, looking after December and into the year 2021, which is insane how quick it's gotten here, we cannot guarantee anything at this moment because we are still battling this virus and we are still trying to find ways to combat that. So we will keep you guys posted as much as we know. As soon as we know, you guys will know. And I'm really looking forward to the possibility of meeting you guys all in person soon. But as of right now, I am loving seeing your faces and having streaks with you guys on Snapchat and just getting to know you guys virtually. And we're still here for you guys no matter what way we are seeing you guys. So just don't be discouraged and find the innovation in this year.
Awesome. Well, you didn't know I was going to ask this, but random question to add some spice into this whole conversation. Shelby, what is your favorite topping on your pizzas?
You guys are gonna hate me. I actually really like the Hawaiian pizzas or like the everything pizzas, just as long as it doesn't have the anchovies on it. Like those, I can't do that. But I will eat anything else on pizzas. I'll have mushrooms, peppers, anything else. Like I'm pretty fine with whatever.
Wow, that is quite interesting. All righty, we're on to our next question here. I also don't think this lady is, this member is on. Cassidy Brady. If you are on, then jump on here quick, but I don't think you are. But Cassidy Brady is from Montrose, and she wants to know, what event or thing are you looking forward to the most this year? So what are we looking forward to the most? And that is for Tyson and Bailey.
Once again, ladies first. So Bailey, you go.
Thank you, Tyson. So I would have to go off of what Jilly was saying earlier. I'm really excited to get to meet each and every one of you this year, even if it is virtual. So far, I'm still really looking forward to getting to meet y'all, and I am really looking forward to hopefully getting to meet you in person next year. But I'm also just like looking forward to all of the social media events that the officer team has come up with so far this year that you will be hearing about shortly. We have some really cool events that will be happening, and we are very excited to share them with you. But I am very looking forward to meeting each and every one of you this year. And feel free to reach out to us. We are here to answer questions, get to know you throughout the rest of the year. So yes, I'm very excited to meet y'all this year.
So my answer is going to be a little bit more selfish, you could say, and it's my personal favorite event I'm looking forward to this year at some point. So as all of us know, at this point, sports for like college football and other things have been pushed back. And usually for CSU, they have this event called Ag Days. which they also hold something called Blue Jack Society on the same day. But since we have no football season in the fall for CSU at this point, probably going to be pushed back to sometime around spring. So during that event, they hold what they call the Blue Jack Society, where they induct Blue Jackets from members and chapters that support ag teachers and the furtherment of ag teachers in Colorado. And then they hold kind of a brunch, lunch, whatever you want to call it, for everyone there. People give speeches. It's a really cool event. And afterwards, you obviously get that Ag Day feel at the CSU football game. And let me tell you, if you haven't been to Ag Days, it is a great experience, especially the food. You get to try just about every single meat you can think of there: lamb, beef, chicken, just about anything. So if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be that.
Awesome. I don't know that I've had a lot of lamb in my life, but I bet it sounds pretty good. Have you had that, Tyson?
Yes, I have, and it is quite divine.
Ooh, divine. What a fancy word. Alrighty, well, our next question is from Montana Goodman, and she is here, so let's give her the spotlight here to ask her question.
Hi guys, I hope you can hear me. So I am from the New York FFA chapter, and I think I'm supposed to say a fun fact. And so the fun fact I have is that I love Dr. Pepper. And I actually have a few questions for you guys. I think they've been asked a little bit, but first of all, how has this year been so far? What are you most excited about? I know Tyson and Bailey just answered that. But then my last question is, do you think you were more or less nervous during online interviews than in person?
All right. Well, this year has definitely been different. If you guys remember the online state convention, it was a little bit later than it typically is. So us as an officer team has gotten kind of a late start. Altogether, we've only been able to come together for state fair, which was super strange because we only got to be there for one day instead of the whole 2 weeks. But it's been good, and I'm really excited to see what the rest of the team does this year and how far we can get with it. Personally, I was just as nervous. I remember being on NomCom and seeing all them being really nervous, and I definitely felt it. I remember sitting at my desk feeling like I was about to throw up before some of the interviews, but it all turned out well. We all did good, so it was great.
Okay, so like Jillian had said, this year has been kind of off to a slow start, but we did get together for state fair and help with the heifer wrangle there. So that was a lot of fun, and we got to see those 13 different members. So that was pretty exciting. We got to see someone and interact with them. And we have just been doing a lot of Zoom meetings and planning thus far, but we're hoping, that in the future we can do more. I think that I'm most excited that we get to pave our new path, because while social media has been used before, we're the first ones to have to use it and to need to use it. And so I think we're all very excited about that, and to just be able to talk to you a lot more and just explore the different platforms and how that's going to work with our big conferences and all of those other leadership conferences. And then I don't know. I think I was a lot more nervous for online interviews because, first of all, you had the technology factor. What if my internet stops, or what if I freeze? And that actually happened to me in my last round of interviews. And I was stressing out, but then I came back and we were all okay. But also, since I was at home, it was the first weekend of my county fair, so I was trying to do stuff there, and I had to work. And so instead of being in person and just really focusing on the interviews, I kind of had all this other stuff going on. So I felt a lot more stressed out than if we had in-person interviews.
Awesome. That's really good. I really appreciate you guys being open and willing to answer that, especially since I know interviews were pretty nerve-wracking. So that's something to kind of be transparent about. Haley, random question, but out of the 3 main flavors of ice cream, strawberry, chocolate, or vanilla, which would you prefer to eat for the rest of your life and could not have the other 3 or the other 2?
Strawberry, hands down.
Strawberry. Wow.
Strawberry.
That is quite interesting, actually. All right, we're on to our next question from, and I'm probably going to mess up this last name, but Sydney Cure or Curie. If it's Curie, that's a really cool last name. If it's Cure, it's still a cool last name. But you got the spotlight.
Well, not gonna lie, I do not completely remember my question. I'm also driving right now. So I don't know how safe this is, but we're gonna do our best. I'm from the Burlington FFA chapter. One cool fact about me is we just got out of volleyball practice and we have softball games tomorrow.
Okay. Well, good news for you is I have your question written down. So your question here is, although this year is different, what does becoming a state officer look like? And you want to know kind of specifically what the qualifications, application process, all that's kind of within the whole process, right?
Yes.
Okay. And looks like Ashlyn, you've got the, what do they call it? Your soapbox. You've got the soapbox.
All right. So this year was definitely a lot different, but the application process, qualifications, and the interview were roughly the same. For the application process, you have to fill out a whole bunch of curricular, like there is a resume that you have to put in. You have to have a letter of recommendations, and then you have to answer some questions. That was basically the same. For the qualifications, that is in a state officer handbook that they will give you, and that's provided as well. I'm not sure if I can say. I don't know. Can I say? I believe that the state officer handbook is on the Colorado FFA Association webpage. So if you guys want to go check that out, if you're thinking about it, that'd be a great idea. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jilly. I wasn't sure if that was something I could say right now or not. I don't know. Confidential. Otherwise, so the qualifications, they're basic qualifications like leadership skills, communication skills, just basic teamwork skills, basic qualifications like that. For the interviews, normally before state convention, you get together and you go through this whole nominating committee. I have never done that before, so I'm not exactly sure how that looks. However, I do know that this year it was a little bit more stressful because we were in the unknown a lot. We weren't really sure exactly when our interviews were. For a good portion of the time, we weren't even sure the dates. We knew roughly a week. So that's kind of how that went. But otherwise, we did interviews exactly as normal as possible. We just did the qualifications. We did the different types of interviews, and we went from there. And it was pretty fun. I think it was a little bit more nerve-wracking because you're at your home, and it was very different. What was the other thing? So what does becoming a state officer look like? It's pretty normal from, this year was pretty normal from past years. I mean, we were super excited. We got together. We haven't gotten our jackets quite yet, but that's because we haven't really been able to try on jackets and figure out our sizes. But otherwise, we're just super stoked to meet all y'all members in person, or in virtual world, and we just really want to get to know y'all. So please just be engaging and just be there with us.
Hey, can I add something on those on that qualifications question?
Go for it, Mav.
Sure.
Okay, so for the way that I see it, your biggest qualification for becoming a state FFA officer is that you have a passion for FFA. If you have a passion for FFA, the other qualifications will come with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. That was one of the biggest things for this year, especially since everything was unknown, is we just had to have our hearts thrown at FFA basically. And I think Mav just hit that right on the nail. Like, honestly, that's one of the biggest things. So if y'all are thinking about coming state officers, you know, reach out to us and make sure that you have your full heart into FFA and you have a passion for serving, because it's an honor. It's so amazing, honestly. So thanks, Mav.
That was awesome. Yeah, good input there, Mav. We sure appreciate it. And Ashlyn, that was a lot of really good information as well. My random question for you, Ashlyn, is, all right, so keep an open mind here, right? We're gonna have some fun with this. If you had to go skydiving or scuba diving, so you got either way up in the air or way down in the ocean, which would you rather do? And why, honestly?
Oh, I have gone scuba diving before, so I will say skydiving because I've always wanted to do that.
Wow. That's
our next thing we're doing as an officer team, right?
Ha! You're funny. I tell you what.
Ruth, it's gonna happen. We're gonna get Caleb in the air.
I am short for a reason. For those of you who don't know, I am 5 foot, basically nothing. No, I'm 5'1". So pretty short. I don't go up in the air. Planes, no go. All right. Our
Okay,
next.
hold on. If everybody thinks that Caleb needs to go skydiving, we need to react. I need to see your reactions.
Oh yeah, they've got the clappers, the hands clapping or thumbs up, huh? Wonder if I can do this. Ooh, okay. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Okay. Well, I guess don't get much of a choice here, do I?
Peer pressure, Caleb.
Yeah. I guess I'm going skydiving one day. Okay, we're on to our next question. And that is with Jose Cruz. And I believe he is on here. So, spotlight. Lights, camera.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Do you hear me? Okay. I'm in school right now because I didn't know I was going to come until today. But a fun fact about me is that I'm from California FFA, and I live in the Central Valley. And my question was, what do you guys do to motivate yourselves and to motivate others? Did you guys hear me?
Yeah, we heard you. That's going to be directed at Mav and I, so I guess I'll take the reins on that. First of all, I've told this to a lot of people throughout this interview process, because state officer interviews are no joke and they are pretty stressful. But one of the things I've told people to focus on the most, just to keep motivation, is to make sure you focus on the good things in life. And the things that are just, kind of solid, like your family, your friends, faith, all the things you can count on the most. And I would say something you could do besides that. We were doing a what do you call them? Training workshop with all the other Colorado CTSOs, and we got this little card. It's kind of like a note card, postcard kind of thing, and they had us write down on here what we were most thankful for, and that was so we could keep it kind of in like the sleeve of our jacket or blazer, whatever CTSO you're part of. FFA, we don't got a blazer, we got a better jacket than a blazer. So wrote down all the things I got on here, and it sits right next to my desk, and it has the date on it, and read it just about every time I sit down. So that's something you can do to keep motivation.
Jose, first off, I want to start by saying that your chapter name is awesome. Tranquility FFA chapter, that's pretty cool. That'd be a pretty cool name to have. So the way that I'm going to handle this question is I'm going to go a little bit, what keeps me going through this pandemic. as a state officer. So we've had a lot of things been canceled. We haven't been able to do very much, but what's been keeping me going has been, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This team right here, this is something that no other team has experienced in the history of Colorado FFA. And so I think that that's pretty cool. Another thing that really keeps my engine pumping is that with when doors close, new doors open. And some of these new doors that have opened for us have been pretty cool through technology. We're going to be able to reach a ton more people this year. I don't think Colorado FFA has done anything virtually with a member from California. And so that right there just speaks volumes to the things that we're going to be able to accomplish this year. On that note, you'll be seeing this in the coming months. This officer team has some awesome things that are going to be rolling out on social media. And so I can't wait to get those out. And yeah, that's what keeps me going. There's going to be some cool things. We're missing out on a lot, but when doors close, new doors open. And that's what I look forward to.
Profound to say the least, sir. Tyson, you and Maverick represent well. We're on to our next question. That was really good. Our next question is from Angel Servin. I believe that's how you say that. Are you on here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let's hear it, buddy.
So I'm Angel Servin. I am from a Rickery FFA chapter. And a fun fact, I like to show goats and cattle. So my question, I guess I put down, what is your most embarrassing story?
Ashlyn, I believe this is yours.
Yes, sir. So we're going to save a lot of these embarrassing stories for Spill the Tea. However, I have a couple because I'm a very awkward and embarrassing person. It's kind of my quirk, kind of my personality. But so one of my most embarrassing stories was my sophomore year. I was at state convention. I was falling asleep. Like, I'm sure all y'all who have been to state convention know exactly that feeling when you're just sitting there, head nodding, and you're just like, oh gosh. Well, I decided I would lean back and put my head down and just kind of like close my eyes for a bit. Well, this was whenever Mercedes McHugh was giving her speech and her retiring address, and she shouted me out in front of everybody, and that just like got me going. I was like, oh my gosh. I was full awake then, and then after that she asked for everybody to serve, or who was planning on serving, to stand up. And I just jolt out of my chair, and I'm over here waving my arms, being like, I'm gonna serve. And then like everybody in my chapter was tugging on my jacket, was like, Ash, sit down right now. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm planning on serving? What do you mean? I have a servant leader kind of heart. And they're like, they meant the military. Oh my gosh. I turned bright red, sunk into my jacket, was like, I'm not moving the rest of the time. So that's my most embarrassing story. And you can hear more on Spill the Tea.
Ooh, good plug there. Good plug there, Ashlyn. I think that you're probably pretty glad that it's dark in the auditorium usually for those sessions, so that people might have been able to hear you, I think. But good news is they probably couldn't see you. So our next question is from Aaliyah Blackwell, and it's for me, so let's hear what you got. Are you on here, Aaliyah? Well, don't believe, I guess not. All righty. Well, Aaliyah Blackwell is from the Greeley FFA chapter, and this is a little weird, but she wants to know if I had to be a WWE wrestler, probably on the shorter side of the wrestling, area, what would my walkout song be? And at first this was pretty easy for me to think about, because it's pretty easy. Like, what do you think of whenever you think of someone's walkout song? It expresses who they are or whatever defines them, right? So immediately, boom, my head went to Little Bitty, right? So I guess Little Bitty would have to be my walkout song, would it not? Because if, after all, it is all right to be Little Bitty, right? Little hometown.
Sing it right now.
Well, I don't know the whole words.
Here, Caleb, I gotcha.
All righty, let's hear it. Hope there's no copyright deal with this. Got a little dish and you got a little spoon. Bitty car.
Caleb, do you have a little bitty dog?
Yes, I do. My little bitty dog is named Belle, and yeah, she's. I think. Well, I'm 19, so she's 15 years old this year. So she's an old blue heeler. She's a little bitty dog. She didn't used to be as little, but she's shrunk a little bit. But Little Bitty, I would say, have to be my walkout song. Not super intimidating, but I also would never claim that I would probably win any WWE wrestling matches. So it would probably fit pretty darn well. So Little Bitty is probably
in the midget wrestling division.
Yeah.
You could do some damage there.
I did some research, and I actually don't qualify. I looked into some scholarships, and honestly, I think that's pretty awesome. I really do, because when it comes to being short, we deserve some cool scholarships. Although there are people that deserve them way more than I do. So leave them for them. All righty. Enough of that. Let's move to our next question. Our next question is from Blake Hopkins. Are you on here, Blake? He's not. Okay. Blake is not on here. Blake is from the Roosevelt FFA chapter, and he wants to know what are you most excited to do this year as FFA state officers? He wants to know the exact, precise event that you are most excited about. Torrin and Bailey, what do you got for us?
So I can start. I have already kind of talked, I'm really excited to meet the members this year, but if I have to talk about an event that I'm looking forward to, I would have to say National Western Stock Show, if it's still happening. I'm really excited to go and meet people there and promote agriculture as well as our FFA association at the National Western Stock Show, because there's so many people that travel to Stock Show from all over the country, whether they are participating or they just want to come and spend a weekend in Denver and see what agriculture is like. That's something that I'm looking forward to this year.
Totally agree. Just to kind of bounce off of that a little bit, it's a great opportunity for us to be able to travel and get to see what the members have been working on all year. It's a great opportunity for them to be able to go up and show in front of all those people, get to talk to the vendors, and just really be there and get to experience it all. I'm really excited, and I really hope we get to be there and get to see everybody show this year.
Awesome. Okay, that was kind of your first question there, wasn't it, Torrin? Right? Yeah. Okay, so that means you're on the hot seat. Okay. One of the off the top of my head questions. That is a tongue twister. Can't say that 5 times fast. Torrin Farquharson, if you had to eat peanut butter and pickles or pickled peaches, which would it be?
Neither. No. That's nasty.
That's not a choice.
Yes.
Which would it be?
Probably pickles and peanut butter.
Okay. I heard that's actually not bad.
Not gonna lie, pickles and peanut butter are the bomb, so they're pretty good. That's what my choice would have been.
My goodness gracious, Bailey. I think that's probably why that was in my head, because I knew that you liked those. So that's a little odd, but we love you for it. So we're on to our next question. Good job, Torin. Let's go to Antonio Hillman, and I don't believe they're on, but they're from the Roosevelt FFA chapter, and they just want to know how we're doing during Corona. That's a very vague question, but it's for Caleb, Kendall, and Jillian. I will let the ladies go first, very obviously.
Alrighty, so quarantine's been happening for a while now. I think I went a little bit crazy. Painted my fridge, had a little fun, worked for a little bit, then I started doing our officer stuff, which is so fun. So we're doing good now. Might have been sketchy for a little bit, but having a great time. Doing good.
Honestly, when Corona started, I was so upset because I was a senior and I felt like it was ruining my life. But then I kind of got over it and I was like, well, I have so much time for activities. So I painted our entire house, like the inside of it, and then I painted downstairs and cleaned the whole basement, and I set up like this cool little hangout area. Pretty sick. And I worked at McDonald's for a while. McDonald's is terrible to work at, personally. Um, but yeah, and then we started our state office stuff, and that's pretty exciting. Pretty excited for this whole year. Yeah, that's about the gist of my Corona time. It's been good to me.
Wow. You ladies had a lot more events, I think, in your Coronacation here than I did. Personally, I think it's been great, but I'm pretty much in the minority there. Ever since I keep telling myself I'm still on spring break, because whenever we went on Coronacation, that's what I'm calling it, by the way. When we went on Coronacation, it was spring break and we were off anyway, and then we just never went back to school. And so every time I talk to one of my friends from high school or whatever, I like to tell them that we're still on spring break and I'm still a senior. But I got to work, drive tractors. That's what I love to do. I got to make quite a bit of money, kind of just get a good little cushion of money under me so that I can get ready for this year. And lots of fun traveling and everything. Other than that, it's been pretty great. I really love it, honestly. I still get to talk to people, the people that I enjoy conversing with, still enjoy conversing with me anyway. And with this great virtual platform, I can talk to so many people and have so many cool conversations. I mean, I met somebody, this is the crazy thing. I met somebody from Puerto Rico, and he's one of their state officers. Coolest guy ever. I've enjoyed it so much. It's mind-blowing. I don't know if it's as mind-blowing for y'all as it is for me, but I've enjoyed the heck out of it because you get to do so much cool stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little over-enthusiastic about it, but sue me. I don't care. Okay, we're on to our next question. And this is from Caitlin Dudley from the Sirocco FFA chapter. Don't believe she's on here either. She asks, how are this year's events going to be different due to COVID? That's for Tyson and Ashlyn.
All right, I'll go first if you don't mind. All right, so these events obviously are going to be a little different because of COVID regulations, unfortunately. So we're planning a lot of virtual activities and events such as this. So stay tuned. They're still in the works, but we'll be putting those out shortly, and we're super excited about that. We don't know what's going to happen past December. We don't know if we are going to be able to be in person or if we're going to be virtual. So we're really hoping to be in person so that way we can actually talk to y'all and be physically there. However, if not, we'll figure out ways so that way y'all can get to know us and contact us and be as engaging as we possibly can. Tyson?
Yeah, to piggyback off what Ashlyn said, pretty much all we got right now is it may change after December and it may not. But as of right now, everything's going to be virtual. And that doesn't mean that nothing's going to happen. Like Ashlyn said, going to try and put out as much stuff as we can, some quality stuff too at that, and just keep you guys involved as much as possible. That's all we want to do is keep you involved.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Tyson and Ashlyn, you guys have good points. One of our big steals, we want to get you members involved, right? We want to create those connections. So you all make sure, even if you're watching this after it's recorded or whatever, make sure you guys get on all of our social medias and follow those, like those, whatever you call it on the different social media platforms. Make sure you follow it though, because if you don't, you can't always be involved on some of the awesome stuff we've got going. We've got some really cool events coming up, just like this, only even cooler. So stay tuned for those. We're on to our next question with Haley Minnick, and I believe she is on here.
Yes. I'm from the Stock FFA chapter, and my question is, how has this year changed your goals for being a state officer?
Frickin' Bailey.
I'll take this one first. So at the beginning of the year, before the pandemic happened, I set some goals for myself that I wanted to achieve as a state officer. With this pandemic, those goals, they have not changed at all. I still want to accomplish the same things, and I'll go ahead and tell you about those goals that I have for myself. My first thing is I want to accomplish growth during this year. At the end of this year, I want to be a completely different person than I was at the beginning. I want to grow as an individual. I want to expand myself, and I want to get better. I want to improve. That's what one of my personal goals is. Another goal that I have was one of the reasons that I ran. I want to accomplish service, and that's what we're doing. By the end of the year, I want to be able to walk out on that stage at state convention and say, I served this organization 100% and full-heartedly. That's what I want to be able to say, and that's another great goal that I have. My last goal is working on a team towards a common goal. I think that is just awe-inspiring. FFA truly is a family to me, and when I get to be around 10 other people that are like-minded and we're working together towards a common goal to further the FFA organization, that I can't put words to that. That's how awesome it is. And so those are my three goals right there: is growth, service, and working on a team towards a common goal.
I really love your answer, Maverick. I'm gonna talk about my goal of becoming a state officer. So it's been a goal of mine since I was a freshman in high school. After getting to meet the state officers that year, it really kind of hit my heart, and I wanted to become as amazing as they were. Like, their leadership skills and their communication skills were out of this world. And when I was a freshman, I was very shy, and getting to talking in front of a crowd was very hard for me. But throughout high school, I continued to go towards my goal of becoming a state officer, and just trying to achieve that goal was helping me overcome my fear of public speaking, helping me become a better leader, and all of that. And when this whole Corona thing hit, I almost didn't run for a state office, and there was a lot of things just kind of holding me back. And I started talking to someone who became a really close friend of mine. She was on the candidate team with me. Her name is Mariah Hartshorn. She helped me overcome those challenges that I was facing because of coronavirus. and it told me that she was facing those same problems and she almost didn't run either. And for both of us to continue to run together on run for a state office was such an amazing experience. And then becoming a state officer has, like I said, it's been a goal of mine forever. And so going back to your question is how has like this year like kind of prevented you from wanting to achieve goals or whatever? It's honestly, all of the team members this year, we are all very passionate about the FFA, and having that passion is really what continued to poke me in the heart and continue to help me drive on towards my main goal of becoming a state officer. And becoming a state officer, I do know that I still have a lot of challenges that I want to overcome this year. I still have some problems with public speaking, especially in front of really large crowds, but I do want to overcome that and be able to come to state convention and stand in front of all of the members in Colorado FFA and give my retiring address without any problems and be a motivational speaker. And I do know that one of my larger challenges that I really want to overcome this year is technology, and I constantly butt heads. So with everything being virtual and then me using all of this social media to get to know you guys, it's going to help me overcome the challenges that I have with social media and with technology. So that's a goal for me, is to be able to actually know how to work Facebook. I've never had Facebook in my life. Caleb had to walk me through how to operate it the other day, but we'll figure it all out. And but those goals haven't really changed, and it's all because we all are very passionate about what we do.
That's hilarious. I just got to say it. That's pretty funny. I did have to help you, Bailey, make a post on Facebook. I would say that most of this world definitely knows how to make a Facebook post. However, you didn't even have a Facebook up until what, last week or a week before?
A couple days ago.
Yeah. Yikes. Well, we're happy to have you on Facebook. The old book face,
Oh yes.
The social media really is a big deal. We're glad to have you on there, and it's a good way for, again, all of you members to get a hold of us or ask questions, just keep interacting, as much as we can virtually. So Facebook is great. We're glad that Bailey has one. What's up, Maverick?
I want to say something that stems off of what Bailey has to say. Those 23, the group of candidates that ran, you know what, kudos to them. It took bravery to run as a state officer this year. We're facing, before that process, we were all facing a ton of uncertainty. And just the fact that that group of candidates stepped up to the plate, facing that challenge of leadership through this turmoil, that says something to that group of people right there. I think that a lot of us struggled with running this year. I know that I did, and I did question running at some points through that process, but one of the things that kept me going is this is the year that the FFA organization needs leadership the most. It's the times like these when a group of people need to be led and need to be directed in a direction the most. And so that's what really kept me going.
I feel a lot of the officers this year had the same type of feelings, and I'm kind of glad that we did, so that way we can really connect with you guys, because I'm sure you guys might be questioning even coming to the Zoom or participating in future events in FFA or anything else. And I'm super excited to be able to help you through that and re-spark your passion, because we've all felt the Corona depression, guys.
Oh, for real. It's definitely a real thing. Our minds are going crazy. Some of us a little crazier than others. Bailey, I'm just kidding. No, it's good. We're happy to be here. All right, we're on to our, look, we don't have many questions left. We're on to Haley Scott. Are you on here?
Yep.
Let's hear it.
I'm Haley Scott. I'm from the Maker FFA chapter, and I love horses and lilies. And my question for all of you guys is, what is everyone most looking forward to during their year of service?
Okay, we're just going to go through all of us because I think this is a good question. Quick, short answers, I'll start it. Pretty much what I'm looking forward to the most in this entire year is getting to develop the relationships with all of you members and honestly share as many random cool facts that I can.
What I'm looking forward to this year is, of course, meeting all of you. And I guess one more, like I said, selfish reasons. I am very happy and excited to get to know my officer team. I've been a part of officer teams in the past, but obviously the state officer team is very special to me, especially to me right now. So that would be something that I'm very much looking forward to.
I guess I'm next in line. What I am looking forward to the most this year, I kind of spoke on some of the different things that we were kind of planning through social media. I want to start by saying that I'm a huge podcast fan. I don't know about y'all, but I listen to a ton of podcasts, a ton of different podcasts. And one of the things that us as a state officer team is going to be bringing to you guys this year is a new podcast. And so I'm super excited to be a part of that and to be heading that and to be like the first officer team that gets to do something like that. I think that it's just super cool, and it's also going to be able to open a bunch of doors on new people that we can reach and preach to about agriculture in Colorado and the FFA.
Okay, I am most excited for beating every single member at the game of Egyptian rat slap. I'm really, really excited for that. That's my most favorite game in the world, probably. So I'm excited to challenge everyone at that. But mostly I'm excited just to meet everybody and make connections and all that. And yeah.
So I would have to say that I'm really excited to meet all of you, and I do know that I know that there's probably so many members throughout the organization, even my fellow teammates who have had state officers really make an impact in their life. And I really hope that I can make a huge impact in all of your guys' lives this year. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to this year.
Something that I'm really looking forward to is getting to know everybody, like all the other officers have said. But I'm really excited to show you guys how hard that we've been working to be able to give you all these different virtual events, and that the whole team is really coming together. We're just spitballing ideas, throwing them at everyone. And then we take the feedback that we get from members or outside people, and we really put them together to get this amazing idea. Kind of bouncing off what Maverick said, we're going to bring a couple new things that the state officer team has never done before, and I'm super excited to be able to share that with everybody and get feedback. Who knows, we might be the team that started a trend that continues on 50 years down the line, which would be amazing. But it's just really exciting to be able to get to do everything with this group of people who all have the same mindset, we all have the same passion, and we get to share it with everybody.
All right, so what I'm excited about what I'm most excited about for the year of service is I'm going to kind of piggy off of Tyson. I'm really excited for to get to know my team. And like this year, this team is super awesome. They have such amazing hearts of service, and they're super passionate, and I absolutely love it. So I encourage all y'all members to get to know us because we're pretty rockin' awesome people. Also, Nav let the cat out of the bag a little bit with our podcast. And so you guys can look forward to that. And just all of the new things that we're planning for this virtual connection with y'all. Unfortunately, I'm not excited about the whole virtual pandemic kind of aspect, but that's unavoidable. So, I'm just really excited to get to know members, and hopefully this might be a way for us to connect with y'all even more than years in the past. So we'll see.
I am super excited to make connections not only with my team, but all of you members, and get to see you grow and thrive in the FFA and do amazing things and see you guys change me as a person. And I hopefully can help inspire you to follow your passions and be the best person that you can. I kind of spoke on this earlier, and everyone before me has kind of said, it's very important that we get to know each other as a team, even though we haven't been able to thus far. We want to build those strong connections between us so that we can perform better for you at all of our conferences and different events. But I'm most excited to be able to connect you guys, because that was one of my favorite parts of being an FFA, was seeing friends from around the state that I had either known before or new friends that I was just meeting. And so I think that was very important to me, and we've talked about some different things, doing a pen pal type deal and a lot of different things like that. So we're hoping that we can connect a lot more members that way instead of just being at the same event for 1 or 2 days.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good little plug there, Haley. We really do want to push getting you members involved with each other and creating those relationships as much as possible. That's something that we are all passionate about. It's something we've all gotten to do throughout the years. I mean, I've known Tyson since freshman year because of the great relationships that we've built over the years, over high school. And so that's one thing we really want to push. If you guys have input, if you have ideas, something you want to see, make sure you get a hold of us. Just text us. It doesn't matter. However you want to do it. We're open to your ideas. However, no matter what, if you say something or if you don't, we're going to be brainstorming and we're going to be pushing something out here soon. So get ready, and we're on to the next question. The next question is from Delaney McCoy, and I don't believe that she is on here, but Delaney is from the Sirocco FFA chapter, and she wants to know, why did you all choose to become state officers? This is going to be directed at Kendall and Haley. So you guys have the spotlight.
I'll go first. So I actually didn't want to be a state officer. Like, it was something I wanted to do, but since I was in middle school, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna get my degree in biology, I'm gonna go to med school, I'm gonna go to residency, and I'm gonna be a radiologist, and that's gonna be 14 years of my life. So I was like, I don't have time to be a state officer. But then, I believe it was my sophomore year, I grew up with Cassie Franks, who was a past state vice president. And she asked me one day, she's like, why don't you plan to run for a state office? And I told her that, and she was like, if it's going to take up 15 years of your life, then what is putting that off another year? Because that was really the only thing holding me back. So then I actually graduated high school in 2019, and I ran that summer. And then I did not get a state office last year. And I was really upset, but I didn't really know why. I wanted to run for state office. I thought it would be really cool. I wanted to meet everyone and do all the fun stuff, but I didn't really know why I was running for a state office. And it wasn't until this last year that I was at college that I really just felt out of place. I had always served. I was very involved in my chapter and district levels in FFA throughout high school, and not having it, I finally figured out my why, and just learning that my passion is serving others. And so I think that I really learned a lot this last year, and I definitely did not see myself here as a freshman in high school because I was very set that I didn't have time to be a state officer because I had to take a year off of school. But I'm so glad that Cassie kind of was like, figure out what you're doing with your life because that's not it. So I'm glad I'm here.
As for me, the reason why I decided to run, my freshman year, the team that was, the team from that year, just really inspired me and just really made me want to get active and want to get involved. And I was like, wow, being a state officer is really cool. Like they get to do all this cool stuff, like go to stock show and go to chapters and like play games and have fun. So like that's kind of the main reason why I wanted to at the beginning. But then like as time went on and I saw like all the work they do and like all the impact that they make on students and everyone, I was like, wow, this is actually really something that's really cool. Like it's not just games, like it is a lot of hard work, but you get to like impact people and make a difference. So then I wanted to do that. And really the only reason why I really, really wanted to run was to just help people, to help them find their place in FFA, and to just help them to be a part of the family and realize that everyone's welcome, not just people that have cows and pigs, and everyone is welcome, even if you live in an apartment. So that was the reason why I ran mainly.
That's awesome. I think that's really important, especially for you as members to see, is that even though all of us are on this awesome state officer team, it does not mean that we have all of our ducks in the row, right? We all have been figuring out life and trying to learn and understand what this next year and what our entire futures look like, right? So just because we're state officers or whatever and we're happy to be serving you does not mean we have all of our ducks in a row. So if you don't have your ducks in a row, don't worry about it, but slowly figure it out. Don't worry about it, but work on it. You know, it's a give and take. All right, we're on to our next question, second to last here. We've got Holly. Yeah, Holly Morgan is from the McClave FFA chapter. And Holly has a similar question that we've already kind of answered, but it is how do you become a state officer and how does it work being a state officer? Ashlyn and Tyson, you guys will take that away.
All right, Tyson, do you want to answer this one first? Because I went first last time.
Sure, I will go right ahead. So the first thing you'll do applying for a state office is filling out the application, which that takes a letter of application, a resume, 2 letters of rec, a current SAE scope, and you must be either applying or you either need to apply for a state degree or already have your state degree. And in those things that you need for the application, they obviously vary person to person. As for, what was it? What was the second part of the question, Caleb?
Kind of what does it entail? How does it work?
Well, on a normal year, and I guess you could say it's same virtual year, fiscal year, whatever, you are there to serve the Colorado FFA Association, Foundation, and members. You are there to represent agriculture as a whole and be in a way, the face of the organization. But being the face of the organization means a lot more than just having your face go everywhere that the FFA does. It means representing and impacting the people that are there at those events. So that's what being a state officer is really all about.
For everybody considering becoming a state officer, one of the best advice that I ever received was from Heather Levy. She and Wade Yoder were my chapter visit people a few years ago, and she had told me that you should act like a state officer even before you are one. And that was super impactful for me to mimic what my state officers were doing and start acting like it and start building positivity and inspiring people, even if I wasn't at that figurehead yet, or even if I was able to. And that was super, super great for me to hear. And everybody who plans on it, I hope you do great and follow through because we would love your leadership.
Thanks, Julie. That's super, super awesome. So, how it like, oh, sorry, I'm reading the question again. Okay, so how it's like being a state officer, how it works. After we got inducted, it honestly felt like a dream because it was crazy. I woke up the next morning and I was like, was that even real or did I just dream that? It is super surreal. However, despite all of the excitement and all of the super fun, energetic feelings you have, it's a huge opportunity, and also it's a huge responsibility. I knew I had to act in public like everybody knew me as a state officer, and which it sounds really bad, but it's actually super fun. However, I knew that I had to be there for the members and be a role model and positive for the members. And it's super fun. It's a good opportunity, and I love being here with FFA, and FFA is just created my whole person. So basically it's honestly just putting yourself before, or sorry, putting others before yourself. Sorry, I almost said that wrong. Does anybody else have, any of my other fellow officers have anything?
I'm gonna jump in really quick. As far as the actual process works, we have different rounds. And so you put in your application, it opens in like January. So once you start your application, you have 30 days to complete it. You have to answer questions about your high school FFA experiences. You have to have 2 letters of recommendation, one of which has to be from your FFA advisor. And then just a couple other different supplemental documents, and then answer just like short response on a few questions. So that has to be due, I believe, April 1st. And then after that, this year was a little different. We had some virtual mocks, but normally there are in-person mocks that are put on usually by past state officers that you can attend. And so those are kind of cool because at least you get to meet all the candidates beforehand. And then you go to state convention a few days early, and you just do all the different rounds. So you take a written test. There is a writing prompt that you get. I don't know how much time you get. I cannot remember. So you have to answer that. And then we have one-on-ones. So that is you speak with each member of the NomCom for 5 minutes, I believe. So that I ask you like 3 questions. And then we have ag and industry, which is you talk to someone in like the ag industry about just a random topic. So you get 30 seconds to read the topic, and then you go in and you talk about that, and NomCom just kind of shadows over that. You don't actually interact with them in that one. Then you have stand and deliver. So you get a impromptu speech prompt, and then you have 30 minutes to write it, and then you have to present that and answer questions on that. And then the final one is called personal rounds, and so you're sitting in front of all 9 members of NomCom, and they ask you some different questions. And yeah, that's about it. So really, I think we only get like 15 total minutes with NomCom, which is kind of crazy, but it's a great process.
Thank you, Haley.
Holly, if you're on here, I know that you're a freshman, and for any freshmen that are thinking, 4 years down the line, if they might want to run for a state office, one of the pieces of advice that I would give you as a freshman is be involved. Do everything that you can as a freshman. If your advisor asks the class if anyone would like to step up for a role, or if someone wants to go to a certain event, do it. You won't regret it, and it will build you as a person. Take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you.
One last thing I want to add, if you are even considering being a state officer, just find your why and search in your heart exactly what it is you want to do and why you want to serve. And if you have figured that out, and if you know that in your heart you want to try to become a state officer, please reach out to one of us, either current state officers or past state officers. We are so willing to help you guys, and we are here as a resource. So even if you're not thinking about being a state officer, please reach out to us, become friends with us. We love the interaction.
Absolutely. That good clarification there is finding your why. I believe not only is that important if you're running for a state officer position, but that's also extremely crucial in your entire agriculture walk, right? Finding your why is going to help you drive through the hard times, through those big projects in class where you don't really know what you're doing, or maybe you do know what you're doing, but you don't have much help. That why will help you keep driving. It goes in the back of your mind and it sticks there. And then what it does is it keeps you going, and it keeps you going, and it keeps you going. It's extremely important. Find your why as a freshman, and the rest of high school will be a breeze because you know what you're working toward. It keeps your sight, gives you tunnel vision, what you need to see at the end of that tunnel, and it keeps you going. So find your why now, while your brain is still very open to all of these new things of high school. Find your why. Okay, we're on to our next deal. Our last question is from Colin Auctioner, and he is on here, and we are ready for your question.
All right, my name is Colin Auctioner, and I'm from Platte Valley FFA there in Kersey. And leave it to me to like everybody else asked a nice deep question. And first thing that I thought of when I was answering the Q&A was what your guys' favorite food was, each and every one of you. I know I liked me a good prime rib, but I was curious to see what the rest of you all were eating, because I know like last year some of the state officers swung by the house, and it was and had a meal or two or whatever. So it's always funny and good to know what you guys like to eat.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one to end on, especially for this. Just lightens the mood and everything, right? Food is what drives us anyway. It keeps us going. So I would say my favorite food currently, it seems to kind of go through stages, but currently my favorite food is probably those Fig Newton bars. I eat probably, I don't know, 5 of them a day. Maybe not that many. That might be exaggerating. But those Fig Newton bars are pretty darn good.
We just got back from State Fair about a week ago, and anyone that knows Pueblo knows that they have something called the slopper. And I don't think some of us had experienced a real slopper up until last week. And I can guarantee you that is at the top of the list right now for favorite foods.
For me, you can't go wrong with a 16-ounce ribeye. It's cooked medium rare. Like, if I had to choose one meal, that would be it. Steak and taters all day, baby. As far as like kind of like groups of food go, I'm also a huge hunter and fisherman. I love to eat wild game. It's different, but it's awesome.
Beef, it's what's for dinner, right, Maverick?
Yes, sir.
Boy.
Okay, so honestly, I don't really have a favorite food because I love so many foods. However, top 2 are probably orange chicken and chow mein or chicken Alfredo, because that's the bomb. Or just in general bread. That's about it.
So I'm kind of with Kendall. I love all food, but I would say that my top 2 would be taco salad, or just plain mac and cheese. That's my go-to for comfort food.
I gotta agree with everybody else. I definitely like meat and bread. Oh God, I love bread. But my number one food right now, it'd probably have to be fruit. Like, I know that sounds weird, but I love any fruit. Like watermelon, pineapple, cantaloupe, every single thing. I love it.
My favorite food has to be barbecue pulled pork sandwiches. Ooh, those things are good. And also, it's kind of a tie with steak as well.
Okay, for everybody that knows me, I eat all the time, just snack all the time. So food is just great in general. Carbs are amazing. I will pray to carbs. Specifically Italian food, that's pretty great. And I definitely have to agree with Maverick with steak and taters. They are great.
This one's really hard for me because like all food is great. We shouldn't discriminate here against different types of food, okay? I definitely like steak is definitely up there, but like fries of any like color, shape, size. I love fries. But if like there was one food that I had to eat like for the rest of my life, it would probably be wings. Just because like there's so many different things you can do with them. You could like have a different meal every time because like there's so much you can do different. So yeah, definitely wings.
Good enough.
Awesome. Well, we sure appreciate it. We're going to give the floor to Maverick. He's going to kind of close us out here.
Hey, wait, really quick.
Oh, what's up,
I
Haley?
believe John had a question. I think we missed it. So if he wants to ask it,
So
really
if
quick,
you
few of
want
us
to
answer it.
Yeah. Hi, my name's John. I'm from the Dolores FFA chapter. One thing that I guess was interesting about me is last year I chose to represent the WLC before it got canceled. And my question was, during these times, members are making the online switch for their studies and are not allowed to participate in at-school events such as FFA. This is because there is a new policy excluding at-home e-schoolers from attending on-campus events. What should these members do to stay enrolled in the organization? Did you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. I can sure try to take a whack at it.
Yeah.
Pretty good loaded question. So first of all, we want you to know that you are in no way less connected with us, right? We're going to do our best as a team to stay connected with you guys and bring you in as much as possible. All of our members are important to us, whether they're e-learning or in school or wherever they may be. The best way for you guys to stay active and involved is going to be through, again, using our social media for now, especially until December, until we know more. But getting all of those social medias and following them and then attending events like this is the best way that you're going to be able to stay connected. Because right now we're building a relationship here. We're understanding each other and able to communicate. And we're going to provide lots more of those opportunities. And so stay connected that way. As for, you said to stay enrolled specifically, I believe that comes down to you probably just have to get a hold of whatever your school FFA chapter is. And then as long as you are actively communicating with that, with your advisor, they should be able to enroll you, and they'll just, I've got a couple friends that do like homeschooling and things like that. And so as long as you're communicating it and you're at least within a class, you should be able to be within all of the FFA events, right? It's not one or the other, it's both. If you're in agriculture education and your school uses FFA as their program, then you're in FFA. If you're in FFA, you're in an ag class, right? So just stay involved and get in one of those classes, wherever it may be. That'll kind of have to be up to you and your school system, but that's the best I can do, is just stay involved on social media, get into a class, learn a lot, and expand your brain. We're going to
also
kick
to
it.
kind of jump in on that.
Yeah.
We are still planning to do all of our virtual events. So normally, end of September, early October, you have your big, which is becoming involved as a green hand, initiated as a green hand, something like that. One moment, sorry. So we're still going to do that virtually, and we're actually working on putting that together and figuring out how we're going to like do our different like sessions and how we can still get all of you involved. So we will be sending those out like to your ag advisors, and then you guys can participate in those. And we're just gonna go do kind of different segments. And then like I said, we'll have like MFE and ALD. I'm pretty positive we're still planning on doing that virtually. And then we also are going to continue Spill the Tea, which Dominic and I believe Lauren started last kind of at the beginning of Corona. So we're gonna bring that up again and really try to be active this fall, even though we can't be with you guys.
For members that are facing this situation, I cannot stress the importance of communicate with your advisor. Stay up to date on your chapter's events that they are doing if they are doing any. There's with this question, yeah, you really want to talk to your advisor about it, because it's there's a ton of things that your school does and that your chapter does that FFA plays a role in that you may or may not get to be a part of if those events are happening. Talk to your advisor, build a relationship with them, see what you can do. If any opportunities come your way, take them.
All righty, Maverick, I believe it's your turn to kind of close us out. For those of you listening later on after this is the recorded version, we're going to close it out, and then we will continue with questions that are a little bit more, I don't know, natural.
Awesome. So we want to thank you guys for being on here and being able to talk with us. This was an awesome experience. I loved getting to share my thoughts with you guys, and I loved hearing your questions too. For those people that are tuning in on like Facebook and Instagram, thank you. If you've made it this far, you're a trooper. Hope you got some valuable knowledge from this, and I hope some questions were answered for y'all. For those of you that are still wanting to ask questions for after this recorded version, that'll start shortly. And everyone that is watching this from Facebook, thank you. And we will see you guys soon.